Hello, and thank you for joining us on the midweek edition of Journalists Hangout. I'm Ayodele Ozubaku. Today on the program, NNPC complete withdrawal of methanol-blended petrol from circulation as fuel scarcity lingers across the country. And later on the show, schools shut down in 8 local government areas in Katsina State over banditry. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade-Otitoju and Odufowokan. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Thank you for staying with us. Effective transport system is the life wire of a sprawling and growing city like Lagos. This is why members of the State House of Assembly are commending Governor Babajide for his vision in transforming the sector in the states. The Speaker, Mudashiru Obasa, and his colleagues shared encomium on Governor Sanwo-Olu on Tuesday for his effort at completing the state's rail project and expanding transportation through waterways. Let's share the story by TVC News Abimbola Agbebi.
The desire to make commuting a lot easier for the growing population in Lagos through the introduction of the Red Line rail projects by the state government is fast becoming a reality as the state governor gradually ramps up work on the completion of the infrastructure. The first business of the day before the state lawmakers as they returned from a 6-week recess was to commend the state governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu for recent efforts made towards improving transportation system in the state.
I read in the papers that the governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, was in the US to inspect trains for a red line that is being constructed in Lagos. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that this is a very welcome development. Transportation in Lagos, a megacity, a smart city, goes beyond vehicles.
With the daily struggle to move around the state occasioned by traffic congestion, commuters spending hours on end sitting through the fender-to-bumper situation, the lawmakers are happy that respite is finally coming.
The modernization of this train service system that we have today and that is coming to our dear state is just a pointer to the continuation of the spirit of governance that we've had since 1999.
Far away from this country, people that we met complain about traffic from one state to the other. So we think, and I share his sentiment for the fact that the governor has made efforts to secure train that will convey people from one location to another within the state. I think it's commendable, and not just a train, it is a new one, and that has capacity to move thousands of people, and is to relieve people of the harrowing experience that we all, including ourselves.
The Red Line is a 37-kilometer track with 11 stations, and if launched, will be the first operational metro system in West Africa and the first of its kind in Nigeria. Abimbola Agbebi, TVC News, Lagos.
For a state government to embark on this kind of audacious projects, that means Lagos is always that city, that's the mega city we're talking about, and this is the vision coming alive.
It's a state like no other. There's no state in our country that you can compare to Lagos. There's absolutely no state. Lagos is like a country on its own. Lagos is rubbing shoulders with some countries in Africa. Its economy is one of the largest in the continent. So it's a state like no other. And sometimes I ask myself, by the time the new port opens, by the time Dangote State finishes the work that is doing at 650,000 barrel capacity refinery, of course, Lagos, the economy of Lagos will be a lot stronger. My only concern is that corridor. What are they doing? Because I raised that question some time ago with the governor, that what are you going to do about that corridor because trucks will be heading in that direction. They said they are going to build, yes, it will even be worse than Apapa, given that we no longer move petroleum products through the pipelines because of vandals. People will come to Lagos all the way from the farthest point in our country to bring petrol, to come and lift petrol. It will not stop. It will continue even with the coming of Dangote. So we need to find a way to create alternative routes for people. Otherwise, the people living in that Lekki corridor, they will be in trouble. Lekki right up to Ajah, they will be in serious trouble. So
we must begin to look
we think that this refinery could come on stream maybe by the first quarter of next year. If God answers our prayers, then what are we doing? So the city is expanding, the state is expanding in all spheres, but the governor has to be one step ahead. One of the laudable things that they've done is this rail project. When I was discussing with the speed of the train with a friend of mine, he said, see, this train will do Lagos to Maiduguri in just about 3 hours. So you can imagine the speed. You know, he said we'll do Lagos to Maiduguri in about 3 hours. So
it's not like a regular old locomotive. At least you saw inside. They took a kind of tour inside, and it's brand new.
It's like we had in the report. It is quite something people should be happy about, and I'm quite impressed. Well, of course, Lagos is different with the lawmakers. The kind of support they have been giving Mr. Governor in his strides to change Lagos is commendable, and for them to actually dedicate a whole sitting to discuss this. And if you take a look at the red line that Lagos is planning, it is such that it is going to ease the problems of transportation in Lagos. And we were just talking about what will happen when Dangote refinery opens, when other efforts at development take off. But the truth is, we should begin to look in the direction of other forms of transportation, like rail, to even move this fuel we are talking about. It is not impossible. If we have good railway system,
they are even setting up tracks to get to that refinery,
to where we take the fuel from and where it is needed. Because
it was like that when we were growing up.
I mean, we know the idea of seeing trailers with loads.
No.
I didn't see it growing up. As young as I am, it's a recent thing. I remember when we go to Osho power line in those days on our way to church. There is a place just across the Lukweju. There are times we wait an hour because trucks carrying goods, especially iron rods, are passing. But so, I mean, trains, are passing. But suddenly, you don't find such spectacles again. Start seeing vehicles on road and take a good look at our road, damaging the roads.
Piling pressure.
So, as we begin to talk about rail in the area of moving people, good idea. Sanwo-Olu has shown us that it is doable. Other state governors should copy. Probably the rail lines will start linking up gradually. If the federal government will not do just one that will go, everywhere. Let's have the states believe in this rail system. We can use to move, reduce haulages on our road, move fuel. That is, in that way, bandits and
move cement.
Move cement,
very heavy
duty things. So it's a good idea. Lagos is setting the pace once again. Other states should copy. The federal government too should not just be concerned about a railway that will go to Niger Republic. Let's have a railway that will come from Lagos to Port Harcourt to Kano to the nerve centers of our country, the commercial of commerce to Aba. You see the kind of products we have from these places. If they can easily be moved around, trade will improve. Commerce will get better. Employment will. I just want to commend the governor and the assembly. They are setting the right pace.
And God bless the people who alerted the governor to that opportunity.
of getting that train.
Yes, to know that it was there, you know, and they just...
And I learned that it competed with countries to get that.
Yes, they just... that's what, you know, the Americans were saying, what their state lost, a state in Africa has gained. Because there was controversy about the project. Oh. Now, an African country came, while they were soiling their hands fighting, they just came, took hold of it. So it is our gain. Their loss is our gain. So it's something to be happy about.
The kind of speed you
yes, it's the speed. It's the speed that tells us that this is a truly modern train that they are bringing for us. So.
All right, moving on now. It appears the people of the southeast have been abandoned to their fate in the face of the security threats. Security operatives were not seen in major parts of Anambra State following the sit-at-home order by the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, over appearance of its detained leader, Nnamdi Kanu, in court. All schools, banks, markets, and commercial activities were shut in major cities across the states as the people stayed indoors for fear of being killed or attacked. I think they've just they've taken to their fates, and that Monday something, it's like or
Wednesday now.
You know, this
the just that of IPOB has nothing to do with Monday anymore. What IPOB says is, we are not interested in people sitting at home on Monday, but this civil disobedience, we want it on the days that our leader is taken to court. Okay. There was a particular week when he appeared in court 2 days on the bounce and added to Monday.
Oh, that so 3 days.
Yeah, so for 3 days in the week, the economic activities were grounded. You know, so they've made efforts to ensure that at least on Mondays people go to work, since IPOB has already revoked something that it instituted in the first place. But people are willing, yes, because cultists and other guys who have hijacked the struggle, they attack people on Mondays. So to be on the safe side, Monday you simply stay at home. And then now the schools have resorted to opening on Saturdays. Banks too have resorted to opening on Saturday, make up for the loss of Monday. So this is the thing. And as long as our security operatives do not man the streets, to not do a show of strength by way of protecting the people, these people will not come out. No matter how governors threaten, you know, even those governors have stopped threatening people because their threats amounted to empty gas. Nobody was listening.
Telling people if they don't come to work, no work, no pay.
Yeah, nobody will listen. Your life is more, is the greatest
disobeyed the other, and they paid
possession that you have.
People were killed, people were attacked, and no governor has come out to say we'll take responsibility for that. So it's just unfortunate. The truth of the matter is that our security operative seems to have agreed to the fact that IPOB calls the shot when it comes to things like this. Otherwise, why is it that you don't find security men on the street on those days? Even it's like just the way bankers are staying at home. Teachers, policemen too, they decide to be staying at home. Yeah, in obeisance.
No, once you are in uniform, you are a target. Once you are in uniform, you are a target. No, they come for you.
We have a country where law and order is at its lowest ebb. Security has obviously not been one of the achievements of this administration. There is no two way to it. It is one area where a lot of questions are begging for answers. And what is happening in the southeast is such that other people with desires to confront the government are encouraged by things like this. Yes. Any day Kanu is appearing in court, economic activity is granted in his honor. Why we are still...
So you are talking about if the trial now decide to... If they decide
do
to
weekly and daily trial.
Maybe they want to be doing
accelerated. Sometimes we talk about accelerated hearing. If there is accelerated hearing back-to-back 3 days, 4 days in a week, then people will stay at home. Education, bank, market, and there are people who are daily earners. They eat what they earn. The majority of Nigerians are daily earners. Artisans, traders, name it. These people are at the receiving end. And what is the solution? The solution is the security people living up to expectation. But can we candidly say they are failing us? My answer is no, because what is their capacity to man the streets even? If they decide to man the whole of the capital city, what happens in the neighborhoods, in the suburbs? So I don't know. What will happen eventually is that the people will agree to the fact that their destiny is in their own hands. And so is their security now.
All right. The more we are promised, the less we get regarding the fuel crisis in our hands due to methanol-blended petrol imported into the country 3 weeks ago. While we have a sigh of relief at the announcement by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC, that it has completed the withdrawal of all methanol-blended petrol from circulation, scarcity persists and long queues at filling stations become common sights. Let's share the story with you.
Petrol queues have spilled out of filling stations, and now major roads in the country's capital are littered with cars desperate to fill their fuel tanks. The biting petrol scarcity is in its second week and is gradually snowballing into a full-blown crisis.
Now the bad government will get now. This is not they reach 1 month and now. Then they reach 1 month, they don't even sort out anything. They just keep quiet. We just suffer from here. They are on a big man. They go carry their car, go their own village and go put coupon. Before you know, they will give them a chance to go and go back.
This chaos was caused by the importation of adulterated petroleum products into the country. The presidency ordered an investigation into the incident, and the NNPC has also pushed blames but did not take responsibility. Yet the reality remains unchanged. Motorists spend hours in long queues waiting to buy premium motor spirits.
Yesterday, I've been here for exactly 11 a.m.
PM or AM?
AM, 11 a.m., 11 in the morning. I started queue by FMCB. You understand? I went round. Look, what is the time now? The time now is to 1. I have to call my family, my wife at home. My wife was not happy with me.
Suffering the hardship is too much. A quick resolution to this would be appreciated because the masses are going through a lot. I almost shed tears on my way to work this morning because there were a lot of people on the road waiting to get to work, and most of these employers will not even understand. You just have to be at work, and what do they want the masses to do? This is getting beyond, and we can't even enjoy this anymore.
At this petrol station, tempers are flaring. They accuse law enforcement officers of becoming chief lawbreakers, and this time with impunity.
Oh, you go there, you see a policeman there, he's standing there. He'll be collecting money, allowing other people to enter. Why those law enforcement agents that are supposed to help to correct those rubbish that are doing there, they will get there, they will talk to the policeman, they will open the car, they will enter. I saw one yesterday, he drove somebody's car, entered. When he got there, he handed over the key and he left, which is very, very bad.
Some people, because of the influence they have in the country, these people that have spoiled this country, they will come and follow one way and go and enter the filling station, go and take the fuel. The people that are following the law, they have been left here because we don't have the voice.
Those of us on the right queue, they are not allowing us to enter. It is people that are passing through the wrong ways, they will tip them and they will allow them to enter. For how long are we going to stay here to buy fuel? It's unfair.
Before now, President Muhammadu Buhari's administration has prided itself in ensuring the long queues at fuel stations disappeared and the product is made available across the country. But now this achievement is fast eroding, and authorities in the petroleum sector seem to be watching helplessly.
The NNPC towers are situated directly opposite the petrol station, where authorities from this high-rise building can see firsthand the torture, frustration and hardship Nigerians go through on a daily basis just to get petrol. It is not clear if indeed authorities have a grip of the situation and how soon these fuel queues will disappear. Femi Akonde, TVC News, Abuja.
That's the situation reported in Abuja. In Lagos, it was yesterday from Aladelola here down to Ogba, it took me almost 3 hours. And today, in the afternoon, the situation, everybody, the gridlock in Lagos is unimaginable.
Yes, because at filling stations, motorists desperate to buy fuel will sometimes form up to 3 queues. So that's why our roads are being narrowed by the fact that we have this fuel scarcity. Vehicles are spilling onto the highways, you know, the area. The area the filling station is located is not enough for them, so they are spilling onto the road, so causing greater pain for our people. It's unfortunate that the clear refusal or negligence of some people at NNPC, at DPR, at SON has inflicted so much pain on our people. The GMD of NNPC was apologizing today at the National Assembly, apologizing to Nigeria and assuring that the situation was being addressed. Elsewhere, he will have resigned, because this is a big scandal. This is a big scandal. Whatever you do that inflicts so much pain on your people, this fuel that they brought into our country, forget the rubbish that is being said all over the place, did not meet all the specifications for DPR and for Standard Organization of Nigeria. Because one of the specifications is that the fuel must be clear and bright. Tell me, the fuel that they have withdrawn is just like brown. In fact, it looks like coffee. It's like brown coffee. So it failed that specification. Even the oxidation level, it also failed that test severely. What the parameters that they set up, the structures that they set up to ensure that importers bring in quality petrol into our country. Methanol, yes, is an additive, but you only need between 2 to 3% of methanol in the petrol.
Okay.
You know, is this clear and bright?
Contaminated.
You know? Based on DPR and SON specification, is this clear and bright? So methanol content ought to be between 2 to 3%, but what we have in this particular case is 20% methanol. The people who did this to us, they do not deserve to stay on their jobs for 1 minute. Honestly. But we are a nation where people don't get punished. Yes. Instead, people will be passing the buck. And social media thugs will now be unleashed on people who are saying the truth. The social media thug is not better than the political thug. Both of them get paid simply to run down those who are speaking the truth. That's their job. It's now, the politicians now hire people to stay on social media to fight against the truth. So it's a worse form of thuggery. See, look at this. Is this clear and bright? Yeah. As demanded by SON and DPR. So how did it escape? How did it escape? The country has lost a lot of money as a result of this. People have lost man hours at work. Damaged engines have been damaged. People are suffering. They are sleeping in filling stations because some officials, either because they have been compromised or they were just downright irresponsible and will not do their work the way they are supposed to do it. That's what we are facing. That's what we are facing. All the parameters, they failed. Yet this fuel it did not just come into our country. We lack the conscience to keep them where they were discharged. We still deliver them to filling stations in this state. in this state, looking extremely dirty.
I'm telling you,
people
from the depot.
Yes, we still pass them on to fuel marketers. So somebody failed to do his job, either because he had been compromised or for one reason best known to him, failed to do his job, and that person's head should roll. That's how it's done in other places. You don't simply go to America, go to the UK, go to France, and you don't copy the good things that they do. It is the negative things that they do that you are happy to copy. You know, I mean, it's wrong.
Okay, we'll take this break. When we come back, we'll talk more. Keep it locked on TVC News. Thank you for staying with us. Dari, when are we going to get stability in this sector? Since they've said they've completed the process of withdrawing all the methanol petrol in circulation.
Yeah, like we had. That's expected. At least I call it damage control, because these are products that have no business being in the petrol stations in the first place. So if they have successfully gotten those ones out, then they should have, by now we should have a system telling us that we have imported so amount of fuel to be distributed, that marketers now have so amount of fuel, that they are getting those ones out will not solve our problem. What Nigerians want to hear is that we now have fuel in abundance, so that the panic buying and panic and criminal selling, because one of the things happening is that you go to some filling stations, like it happened to me today. After staying like 2-3 hours, you notice that they were not selling for those of us on the queue, but they were selling to some boys who buy in jerry cans, come out and sell at 5 litre for 2,000 naira. If you are willing to buy, you fill your tank and go. So, and what is giving them this opportunity is the fact that we on the lane are still afraid that fuel will not be available tomorrow. Where we are assured that, oh, by tomorrow you will have fuel, the queue will disappear gradually. The panic buying will stop. The criminal selling will cease. But we have a system that is not addressing issues. So like somebody said, if we don't punish people who do wrongs today, we are only encouraging the good ones today to turn bad tomorrow. Some people allow that fuel to escape into the market. What has been, we are still investigating. Even Mr. President said, investigate this and ensure that those who are culpable are punished. Are we still investigating? Shouldn't we be hearing of people resigning from their jobs?
For where?
Willingly. The control, the quality control people. See the color, forget about the quality, the color of that fuel alone. I spoke with a marketer, a leading marketer in an interview, who told me that some of them protested that they would not lift that fuel. And after days of bypassing them and others are lifting, they had no choice, because they also want to stay in business. That they saw that this quality may not be good enough. Why don't we, complain to those who import it? And instead of addressing their complaint, you are
forcing it on them.
Forcing it on. They even bypassed those ones complaining and started selling to those who are willing. And since there is no other one for those ones, and they want to be in business, so it's a connivance of greed and wickedness.
It's a confluence of greed.
Confluence of greed, because you have Nigerians
a convergence of greed.
Convergence of greed. They all know what is happening, and they decide that yes, we'll force it on these people, and they will have
the audacity of greed.
Honestly, living hell now. Because if you see the heat and you now get home at night, you now discover that there's no power and you don't have fuel to even power your generator. That's the thing. People are going through a lot.
That's it. And there's heat in Lagos now.
It's
not like even when we had a matter in Maiduguri and all those places, there was heat in Lagos. I don't know why we have this. Yes, it was heat in Lagos.
It's the population.
And there may be trees.
Trees.
If you go to Maiduguri, you'll be alarmed at the number of trees that you see.
Good.
You know?
Keeping nature alive.
You are airborne, you see trees everywhere in the state capital.
Good.
You know? So, and they help to ensure that breeze is generated.
But every time we do tree planting around here,
we are not doing it enough. We are not doing it enough. We must make a habit, not doing it, not simply when government says, "Oh yeah, let us do this." So you have a situation in which our people are going through hell, and that is why some of us want to ensure that this does not happen again.
Some people woke up 4 a.m. in the morning.
Yes,
to go to the
that's how people die slowly. That's why life expectancy in our country is going down. You know, the wahala is too much. People in the villages who do not have to do this rat race life, they live longer. They may not be rich, but they live longer.
That's the only way you can get to your
that's the only way you can get by.
In Lagos.
How do you get to where you are
by 9 o'clock?
Okay, I have Ololade from Ilorin. Thank you for joining us, Ololade.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Akiola Ololade from Ilorin, Kwara State.
All right. Go ahead.
Yes, it's unfortunate the present situation of the fuel in this country. And it's always disturbing that it's a country that is suffering in the midst of plenty.
Yes.
We have abundant something, but through sabotage, we always suffer.
And greed.
Because it's making one life difficult for people. And there's no day you'll not be happy because of one problem or the other. I think necessary steps should be taken so that this type of thing will not happen to us again. Look at the sabotage of that fuel that was brought into the country. And nobody has been punished for that. Because they need to punish some people so that it's going to serve as a deterrent to other people.
Yes.
People are not so patriotic in this country. It's so unfortunate. It is from Ilorin, Kwara State, Ololade from Kwara.
Thank you for your contribution. And if in Abuja, some filling station are selling for 400 naira.
600.
I calculate 2,000 for 5 liters. That's not 400. 2,000 naira, 5 liters. That's 400.
Some are selling 600 naira per liter.
Not just Abuja.
If you are desperate, you will buy it.
You buy it.
That's the thing. If you are desperate, you will buy it.
You are buying 500 naira.
If they want to increase it, they should increase.
It's not about it. That's what people say when, but it's because the people are not informed. Our people are not informed at all. Even some of our colleagues too are not informed. Because I don't see how journalists will be in a sector where the NNPC claims that it is the only one importing, and it is just now that we are discovering that NNPC has actually been using people to import. So it's either our colleagues are aware of this, or they chose to button up their mouths, you know, or is it best known to them, or they are just downright ignorant.
So NNPC keep flouting, keep flouting itself.
A lot of things shielded in secrecy.
But, because NNPC will come out and tell us they are the sole importer. But I became shocked when take responsibility. Take responsibility. He said no.
Run away.
Two people.
This person. This is that person.
But that is my concern.
And there are still others who are important.
Why is it so easy for NNPC to shift this blame after telling us for years that you are the sole importer, and then we are still searching for culprits?
That's
apologizing.
No, it's not about apology. It's about doing the right thing.
You cannot mention NNPC and transparency in the same paragraph. No.
But why is it that we cannot simply? You see, I also blame Nigerians. By now, I expected to see hashtags everywhere. You don't see that now. But if it has to do with one...
if it's religion now.
You will see the hashtag.
They want to kill themselves. The misuse of religion is one of the biggest problems in our country.
I've been searching through social media.
I think we should just pay more attention to the
issues that affect our lives.
Social problems.
Yes.
Problems bedeviling us. Problems turning us to people who have no value.
But we don't concern ourselves with that.
We don't bother ourselves about those things, but just let somebody talk about religion. It will touch a nerve.
And then you see people coming out.
Some will even prefer to kill their relatives.
It's unfortunate, because I've been searching for the hashtags. Hashtag NNPC resign. Hashtag give us more fuel. You don't find
I think people have even given up that when NNPC says this, they mean something else. It's not enough to promise us that, okay, this problem is being addressed. We have to see it. How long is it going to take to replace the stock? to restock those filling stations. Yeah. How long is it going to take?
But is it not about importing first?
No, they are saying that they are bringing in 2.3 billion liters of additional PMS. Okay. They've assured that they are bringing down one.
When?
But now, they also told us that they have enough to last no less than 22 days. Now,
in barely 3 days now.
How long will it take to simply restock those filling stations that you have withdrawn to supply to them, and then monitor them? That's the job of the DPR. Ensure they are not hoarding. Ensure that they are selling to people. Because DPR can go to a filling station and say, okay, we want to see your tank. Okay. If you short it, we want to see your tank. Let's know whether you have fuel or not.
Let's take Olawale from Ikorodu.
Yeah. Oh, Ayo. Good evening.
Good evening, Wale.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening. Matata, the encyclopedia.
I agree to, sir.
Okay, and that is
good evening, sir.
Is it that I just want to ask a question? Is it that some individuals are bigger and larger than the country? Because some people are responsible for this. They have not been happy since 2015, when there has been orderliness a bit in the downstream sector, because Baba did not allow them to do what they wanted to do. Now, they waited patiently in the twilight of his regime to now embarrass. I mean, there are some people in the midstream, downstream, and even NNPC said, how can NNPC be responsible for these men? And you will ask NNPC to probe the same thing. Can you be a judge, a prosecutor, in your own court? This is not good. It's really bad.
Thank you, Wale.
It's really bad.
Thank you for your contribution. Now, the state of banditry in Katsina State may be getting less mention in the media, but it's still a precarious situation. A prominent citizen of the state and Waziri of Katsina, Professor Sani Luga, has let it be known that banditry has led to the closure of all schools in the 8 local government areas of the northwest states. Professor Luga also said all district heads of the 8 local government areas have relocated to Katsina City due to insecurity. Jide, this is very, very embarrassing. Embarrassing to say the least. That look, the number of Katsina State being the state Mr. President is from, and the number of reports we get to hear on Journalists Hangout on Sunday. Governor Masari was some weeks back our guest. And he was so infuriated, and he declared, he mentioned all these local governments.
Yes.
So this local government, effectively, the schools have been shut down there.
Yes, as I discovered today when I was researching for the program, it's not official. It's not official, but that is the reality. And these local governments, although the prof didn't mention the local governments, but we know that he was referring to the frontline local governments, the same local government that the governor complained about. Banditry is rampant in no less than 10 local governments in Katsina State. Katsina has a little over 30 local governments in all, but in at least 10 of them is a rampant thing. And those local governments are Jibia, Basari, Faskari, Dandume, Sabua, which is a border with Kaduna State, Kankara, where those children were kidnapped the other day, Damusa, Dusima, and Safana. Now, 3 of these local governments, Safana, Damusa, Basari, they share, they are located in the Rugu forest. This Rugu forest has served as habitation for bandits for years, and it stretches all the way to Central African Republic. So it's such a big problem. And the prof was also talking about 2 highways shut down because of rampant banditry. My investigation showed that the highways are Jibia, Gurubi, Kaora Namoda highway. Jibia is in Katsina, but Gurubi and Karamonamoda, they are in Zamfara State. Then the second one is Kankara-Sheme Road, you know. So the problem is a big one. It's a big one. We are battling against out-of-school children syndrome. But people can't go to school where there is no security. And from what we've heard, in the local government quarters, if the local government quarters is safe, you will have some day schools that are functioning. But the state government has shut down boarding schools out of fear that these boys could come anytime. No, nothing like boarding school. Forget boarding school. But the day schools, some of them are operating in local government quarters that at least are safe. At least in those urban or semi-urban areas, you have so many people that can offer some form of security. So those ones are operating. But in the interland, no way. So this situation is similar to what we had even in Borno State at the beginning of the insurgency.
Let's quickly take this break. When we come back, we'll talk more. Dari, several times I've moved from Katsina City to Daura, I think like an hour journey, 120 kilometers, and I'm not sure it's safe to do so again.
No, the truth of the matter about Katsina, I don't know if it is an intentional act by the bandits to embarrass Mr. President, or it is by virtue of Katsina's location, because give it to the state is quite on the edge of the country. By the time you move through Jibi, Keita, and you're on your way out of Nigeria. So we have friends in Katsina, we have reporters in Katsina who daily tell us that beyond what is even happening in these 8 local governments on the borders, even within the capital city, kidnapping and abduction of persons of means go on a daily basis. Commissioners have been kidnapped.
DSS man.
DSS official, notable personalities, chiefs, district heads.
Seems to be a thriving industry.
It is a thriving industry, because you know one thing I discovered that is also aiding these things, that many of these kidnaps are not reported. And the releases are negotiated.
It's not like usual.
I have a friend in Katsina City who told me some few days ago that somebody we both know, a person of means in Katsina, was kidnapped. And I said, but we didn't read it anywhere. I said he was there for like 48 hours. And the family simply negotiated the release. There is this other fear
many happen. I know someone in the presidency whose son was kidnapped.
And they quickly...
But nobody talked about it. Very high person in the presidency.
There is even this other fear to it, that if you involve the police and any of the bandits get killed, the family becomes a target. So
they'll come back.
They'll come back for you. So, and some of these communities are so small that everybody, know everybody. Now, you have somebody kidnapped, and the best you can do is negotiate a release. It is that bad.
And the amounts they keep calling.
It is a business.
No. That's why it's thriving now.
It's business.
That's why it's thriving. And
somebody kidnaps somebody and tells he's going to bring 100 million.
Yes, because some people are paid. Because some people are paid.
In the past.
There's an individual that was kidnapped and they paid up to 100 million. There was a traditional ruler that was kidnapped, a traditional ruler from Katsina, and they paid about 40 million. State government helped, his friends helped. First class traditional ruler. And initially, when you are negotiating with them, you say, okay, why don't you agree to 20 million? They will continue to dehumanize that person.
And they will now show you what is being done to him.
Until you people quickly bring more money. That's what is happening.
And in some cases, they will kill that person.
Yes.
There are those who died in their hands.
These guys
collect money.
See, if we want to do Niger State, maybe because of the size of the state, Niger State, the banditry going on there is greater than anywhere in our country. That Niger. And some local governments...
Than Zamfara.
Yes. Yes. Right now. God is my witness. Right now. Even places that we thought that banditry will not get to. Banditry is now rampant there. Now, Kontagora, all of those areas now, bandits are running riot.
They're taking over.
You see, the thing is, maybe because of the size, you know, they bombarded them in Zamfara.
Yeah, so maybe
and they calmed down. Some of them fled to Sokoto. But right now, maybe because of the challenge of the size of Niger, we are unable to bring them under control in Niger. That is the truth. Anybody who is resident in that state who lies the truth, we are not talking about the social media thugs, those who want to say the truth, will tell you that right now, banditry in Niger
so
State
the communities
is a very
around
big problem.
Where you are talking about, they would have accepted,
No,
they would have resigned to fate.
Somebody who told me that he saw cattle, those who are just rustled cattle, that the cattle, if you were to count them, the cattle that these boys were taking away could not be less than 800. They were just moving them. They had ransacked the communities and stolen their cattle, and they were just moving them along the road. And it could be, you see, how do you steal that many cattle? And no form of resistance
for
nobody, and you go
travel
and you
long
escape.
kilometers.
As long as they're able to do that, they will not stop. So more and more local governments now, maybe we talk about Shiroro, how about Rijau, how about Kontagora, all of these places now, those guys are there. That is a fact. That's why the governor, look at the governor, the last time I saw him, he was already grey. Young, handsome man. The Niger governor.
Young man.
Yes. Sani Lolo, he was already grey. I said, what's going on?
He's a chief executive.
Yes, and every time he talks about it, that look, Boko Haram has taken over my state.
And he's helpless.
He's helpless about it. He's gone to Abuja, no solution. So you can't call him a whaler. Because people at the end of the day will still say, our governor is not doing anything about the security solution. Yeah, he's looking for a solution, and he has not found it.
It will be as if...
But there is nothing he can do on his own. And
absolutely nothing.
He's turning to the places help should come from. And it appears those ones too are helpless. Give it to this administration, they have surrendered security totally, in my own opinion.
Surrendered it?
Yes. Because all of us, the rulers and the ruled in Nigeria, we appear to be clueless as to how to end this banditry and kidnapping issue, especially
and it's spreading.
And some will accuse you of exaggerating the situation.
More people are seeing it as opportunity to enrich themselves. When you are sure that no policeman or military man will stop you, won't you? I mean, and you have the tendency to be criminal, you will take to crime.
I have to leave it there. Thank you, Dario Odufowokan. Thank you. And BKO, thank you too. Thank you for your contribution. And that's our package today. Join us tomorrow for another exciting episode. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11 and join us on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalists Hangout on Sunday. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Ozubakun. See you tomorrow.